Billy in Weberly, Texas.
Good morning, or good afternoon, Tom. Listen, you were just drawing a couple of very false equivalencies between the Muslim Brotherhood and conservatives in this country.
No, not conservatives. My dad was a conservative, and he was absolutely unlike the Muslim Brotherhood or Ralph Reed. He never would have wanted religion to be the guiding standard of any political party.
The comment that Ronald Reagan hated America and that America was the problem. What he said was the government was the problem. That's just an outright
And
lie.
the government is what George Washington had 3 horses shot out from underneath him to create.
Well, that was the government in George Washington's time.
Well,
Obama's job.
The government is what Ronald Reagan ran for president to run.
And he said
if he disliked the government so much, why did he want to run it?
Nobody dislikes the government. We conservatives dislike the overreaching nature of the government as it's currently being managed. And you made the comment about the
How is the government overreaching in your life, Billy?
Well, you were just talking about guns, for example. All right.
All right.
The Brady Bill was enacted back in whenever it was, 86.
Brady Bill is no longer law. How's the government overreaching in your life?
Well, the federal form you got to fill out when you buy a gun. You just talked about having a couple of guns given to you or bought for you.
No, actually, they're my brother's. My brother picked up a couple new guns. He's got several firearms.
But the federal firearms, that federal firearms form, I was actually denied purchase of a gun a couple of years ago, and I looked into it and got in touch with the National Instant Check Service, which is near impossible to do. And the reason they denied my application, or not application, but my purchase of that shotgun was because I had an outstanding speeding ticket. And that's not what that was all. That's not the way it was sold to us. When you give government power like that, Tom, they are always going to abuse it.
Billy, I'm going to agree with you on that, but probably for a different reason. A very good friend of mine is a medical doctor, and he moved up to Canada. He wanted to practice medicine in Canada and ultimately retire in Canada. They have a national healthcare system. He could make a decent living and get a lot more work done and a lot less dealing with insurance companies. And he was in his 50s, and he figured when he retired, Canada has a decent retirement program. And they discovered that he had a speeding ticket, literally a speeding ticket, and they threw him out of the country. And the reason why is because, Louise and I, when we applied for the fast entry into the United States thing, the guy is saying to Louise, have you ever had a speeding ticket? Those are considered crimes. And I don't think they should be considered crimes. But for some reason, most states list speeding tickets as crimes so that if you have enough of them, apparently, they can either put you in jail or take your car away or whatever. And I agree with you. I don't think a speeding ticket should disqualify you from owning a gun any more than a speeding ticket should have disqualified my friend Lewis from being a doctor in Canada. But that said, that program also would have prevented somebody who had beaten or shot his wife or his friend or his dog maliciously from buying a gun. And I think that I'm guessing, Billy, that you would agree with me that that's not a bad thing.
Well, no, I have no problem with that. I don't have any problem with that.
Okay, so then we agree that speeding tickets shouldn't be part of either the gun registry or pretty much anything else other than speeding violations.
Well, I also believe that if you on the abortion issue that you brought up a little while ago, you said that this new law in Texas that we're going through right now limits abortions after 20 weeks as opposed to 24 weeks.
Correct.
And that 1.5% of abortions are
after 20 weeks.
Done in that window.
No, not in that window. After 20 weeks, period. There are abortions that are done much later than that. If you've got a mother in severe distress, she's going to die. The baby's dead. I mean, there was a woman who wrote an op-ed for the New York Times about this about 4 or 5 days ago, where I think it was in the 30th week or something. Her baby just died in her uterus, in her womb, and they had to take it out, or it would have killed her too. And that was an abortion.
Right. So why
that would be illegal now?
Why are the liberals saying that the passing of this bill will close a certain percentage of abortion clinics in the state? And it's because they say it's going to kill their business.
No, it's not because it's going to kill their business. Because their business doesn't depend on post-20-week abortions. Most abortions are done in the first few weeks. As soon as somebody discovers that they're pregnant, and you're just talking about basically removing a patch of cells that's the size of a pinhead or a little larger. What they do is they slip into these laws all these standards so that abortion clinics, unlike dental clinics or unlike other kinds of basically surgical, relatively simple surgical practices, have to have standards not unlike hospitals that involve things like full anesthesia and stuff like that. And so suddenly, the cost to run the abortion clinic is so high. Or the other thing is hospital privileges, admitting privileges. Many of these bills now say that state hospitals, emergency rooms, can no longer accept an emergency, a woman in crisis, if she came from an abortion clinic. So if somebody's in an abortion clinic and something goes wrong, they can't go to the hospital. Now, no abortion clinic can get insurance, and they wouldn't want to run themselves anyway if the hospital nearby can't be backup to them. And so they just go out of business. And these are the ways, these are the sneaky ways that these, or sneaky whatever you want to call it, these are the side way, rather than attacking it head on, rather than saying, let's have a conversation about at what point, abortion should or shouldn't be illegal, or at what point, men should be able to make the decision for women. Instead of having a law, and this is the other thing, that requires that you get these male legislators here. You just had this situation a couple of days ago in Ohio where John Kasich and 7 other men took a photo op where I believe that law, it does in many other states, mandates that if a woman wants an abortion, a foot-long probe has to get shoved up her vagina to show her, what her fetus looks like, or her whatever it may be. And it's like, if men had, in order to buy Viagra, if men had to have a transurethral probe, if they had to have a what are those things called where they put them in so people can urinate? Catheter. If a man had to be catheterized and checked out for potency before he could get Viagra, you would have men in the streets.
Okay. Now, you just said that they sneak these things in here about standards in these clinics. Now,
yeah.
On the other hand, I always hear the liberals say, well, the Republicans want to relegate women to the back alleys. Are you saying now that these clinics should not have standards?
No, they already do have standards, and they have standards that work very well. And the percentage of women who die or who are injured in abortion clinics is much lower than that in hospitals. This is not a nationwide crisis of bad abortion clinics. There have been 2 high-profile bad abortion doctors. Those guys committed crimes, and everybody agrees they should go to jail. And one of them is on his way. But no, it's not the case, Billy. Billy, thanks a lot for the call, and thanks for watching us there in Texas. We'll be right back.